So along with this banner, we got 2 new categories on global. The first is Giant Ape Power, which was introduced on JP with the SS4 Gogeta.
Monkey.
Monkey.
Monkey!
So our highest leader right now, as far as percentage is concerned, is the SS4 Broly, and then the sub lead is the Gohan. I believe that's 130 and 120 respectively. So let's check out this category, and I mean, I feel like it's a pretty well put together category. I mean, no glaring omissions, nothing that we can necessarily complain about like we do with most other categories. I mean, it's essentially SS4s and giant apes, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's an upgraded giant ape category.
right. I think this is kind of their way to breathe life back into giant form a little bit, because they haven't really done anything with it recently. But it's also a great scapegoat to not give us an SS4 category.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd say so. It actually opens up the pool a lot more. Instead of just saying SS4, you say grade 8.
Yeah.
So again, the SS4 Gogeta as the leader is the best leader, but he's not available on global right now. He should be coming within the next few months.
But
yeah,
you have Broly.
Yeah, you do have Broly, you have Gohan as options. I've ran this team a little bit here and there. There's some cohesion issues depending on who you bring. There's also the fact that I don't have a full SS4 team, and that kind of irritates the crap out of me just from an aesthetics perspective. So, what about you, Rujo? Have you ran this team?
Well, I think I pulled. I would have to check my box, but I know I pulled the Broly. I haven't awakened him yet because, stupid me. I'm trying to do the hero extermination units right now, so I haven't had time to go in and then awaken and then all that. But best believe when all that is done, I'll definitely try this category out. I have a good handful of units, SS4s as well, so why not? I'm really excited to do it though, because it gives me a reason to run the SS4 Goku and Vegeta again on the same rotation.
And then JMO, I know that you haven't really summoned on the banner, but what are your thoughts on the category itself?
I mean, I like it. Representation for the Super Saiyan 4s, because, I'm just like that. And kind of to bring back what you said, I feel like even though it's a scapegoat to not giving us a Super Saiyan 4 category, I actually feel like this is the better direction to go, in a way, because it kind of keeps the separation between just grade apes, and then you have this, where you kind of get like the primal power units. You can use Gogeta, you can use Goku, you can use Vegeta, and it's like this is like that category, like, even though it's telling you like it's giant apes as well, in a sense, it's not Bardock, because at the moment we only have like really a complete team, unless you want to do like Raditz, Turles, Goku, like the Kid Gokus and things like that. Most people are always just going to run Bardock, like the whole squad. So I feel like this is just a nice way to give us another category of that, but with units that are actually better than the OG grade ape units, like the Bardock squad, even though some of them are really good now that they all have awakenings and stuff. But like, when you see the pool difference between like grade ape category and this, you would prioritize this over anything else. So it's really nice to just be like, okay, I'm gonna use, when Gogeta comes out, of course, like, hey, I'm gonna rock Gogeta with the LRs, because most people nowadays don't really use the Super Saiyan 4, like Rujo said. So it's nice to just be able to use them again, use other units that are in the pool. Like if you want to bring even out the, the old OG Super Saiyan 4s, like the Gogeta, the Vegito, or the Vegeta and Goku, like you can do that now, while having the new Super Saiyan 4s from this Heroes banner. So I like it overall.
That's not bad. Tystra.
The one thing that was always so funny is that when we were getting the Super Saiyan category, Super Saiyan 2, and we already had Super Saiyan 3, it's like, how are they going to work in Super Saiyan 4? And the one thing that always came up with Super Dragon Ball Heroes, I'm really, really glad they didn't go with just plain out Super Saiyan 4. Because even with Super Dragon Ball Heroes being as wondrous as it is with so many characters and all that, I don't think there would have been enough like diversity for such a category.
Nope.
No, never. We wouldn't even be able to run anything past the 2 Gokus because you get a full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Gogeta.
Exactly.
Vegeta, that's your whole team right there in a nutshell.
Exactly, and it's really cool that they went ahead and just made it this giant ape category. I just love that they're basing this not only just around those Super Saiyan 4s, but the fact that we do have the Ozurus in general. Like, this show has always had the Ozurus since the beginning of Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and from a lore aspect and from, you know, a fan aspect, I absolutely love the fact that they introduced this category. And I'm super thrilled that they even added as many SSJ4s. I only expected them to maybe add 2.
Right.
They added 4. 4 absolutely fantastic units, in my opinion. And I'm ecstatic to actually be able to play this team. Like, I've never been excited before to play a team. And then once Gogeta comes out, oh man, I'm gonna have so much fucking fun with this goddamn team. I'm super pumped, and I'm super ready for Gogeta to finally come out on Global just so I can play it.
So the big thing for me is I've always said that Super Saiyan 4 is my favorite form, because it feels like a natural extension of the Great Ape power that they have.
Yeah.
And this category basically just takes my headcanon and makes it real.
Yeah. No,
I love this category just from the aesthetics standpoint.
Also, even considering it too, like, regardless, they had no choice but to do it this way, because without Heroes, there is no other way they can go about this. Like, they're not going to make a full power Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. They're not going to make a full power Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Things like that, you know?
They should have.
Like, well, yeah.
I'm just saying.
If we did, it'd just be a double Gogeta, double Goku, double Vegeta. Your whole team. There you go.
Make Dokkan even dumber.
You can put Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta in there to even things out, and then you can have the other 2 Gogetas, 2 Gokus, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, and then
a transforming Vegeta that goes from GT Vegeta to Super Saiyan 4.
Like there's ways to make it happen.
But I feel like this was like their only decent way to do it, because now we have representation again of like banners like in the Dragon Ball Heroes that just don't get the recognition, when most of those units are fucking phenomenal, and they're so overlooked because they only come out once a year, and once they're gone, they're gone. Like, you don't see them at any given point until they're like, okay, drop in another collab, you know? It's like, this one by far definitely reached the pinnacle of like what they could do for the benefit of the game to make Super Saiyan 4s fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was no other, like, in my personal opinion, like, they could work around it any way they wanted, but this was by far their best way of doing it.
No, I absolutely agree. And like I said, just from the aesthetics standpoint, I love the category. Yeah, I cannot. I'm so much more hyped for this Gogeta now than I was 2 weeks ago. Like, not even kidding. Like, I might have to go in like 13 multis if I don't get him. I'm gonna go and get him. He's awesome.
Knock on wood that you get him soon, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that unit's pretty freaking amazing as is.
Yeah.
And now that he's got the coverage of the rest of these SSJ4 units, man, I really can't wait to at least experiment with it and see what what ridiculous BS you could pull off with this team.
Oh heck yeah.
Before we jump into the next category, I just want to put a reminder. I've been seeing people, following and all that jazz. We do our shout outs towards the end along with viewer questions. So if you guys want to hang out for all of that, that'll happen after we do the news and our featured topics. Moving on to crossover category. This is the newest category in the game. It premiered simultaneously upon this release with JP and Global. And might be the best category that Dokkan has put in the game for quite some time.
How dare you insult signature pose like that?
Well, because okay, signature pose is not necessarily indicative of the issue that I have with most of the categories, because that has a criteria that has to be met, an actual criteria. Like, okay, people who do stupid poses. Okay, that's quantifiable, right? You can look at the show and just watch the show and be like, okay, that dude did a stupid little dance. He must be in signature pose, whatever. But it's things like Battle of Wits, Revenge, these categories that don't necessarily, like, you could sit there and argue there should be units in there or there should not be units in the category. That's not how a category should work. A category should be clear and defined with no real argument to it. Crossover is a perfect example of that. It consists of characters that are not from the canon timeline of any of the 4 franchise shows. Not saying that GT is canon to that timeline, just saying that it is one of the 4 franchise shows. Basically, characters that came from video games, from Heroes. Xenoverse is in there. Who else is in here? Of course, all the Arale stuff, because that's a crossover. Because it's crossover with, what is that? Dr. Slump.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and the fighters stuff too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the fighters. Fighters was another one. I mean, there's really no way you could look at this and be like they missed anybody, or that certain characters shouldn't be in here.
Also happy to see all the Bardoks in there as well.
Right. That was.
I'm a Bardock stan, dude. So I mean,
that was the one where I felt it was kind of a standout, but I sort of understand it.
Yeah. No, to me it makes 100% sense. Like, the Super Saiyan Bardock never was canon. It shows up in a special episode that has nothing to do with the series.
Right.
So it's like, it makes the perfect sense. And AGL Bardock being from that episode of Bardock gives him that spot, rightfully so, in this category. And I just think, again, it's like that thing where this category isn't slipping up to give everyone that representation in the pool of units that you can use. So seeing like, hey, if I wanted to just be stupid, like not make a special pose or anything, but like if I wanted to be stupid just for the sake of it, be like, hey, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna run the world tournament in Bardock for no reason. Just build a random ass ununique team to somebody unique team to me. I can use units like that, because like for those who don't summon on this banner, you might have some of these other ones that you may or may not have gotten, and you have the sub lead free to play that you can farm right now.
Oh yeah.
So it's like you have the leader, in a sense, to get that category, and then you have just a mix and match of what you feel like you want to do with your team. For those who haven't played heavily on this banner, that's an option for those free to plays.
Yeah, and that is actually a great point. Is that even at 50%, you're gonna find enough of these Super Saiyan 4 Vegetos that even having this character as your leader, at least for the time being, you'll find enough, to scratch the itch of trying the category. A month from now, you're not going to see Super Saiyan 4 Vegeto anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I'm currently just sitting in Dokkan right now trying to do an event, and I just rolled around 3 rainbowed in a row. So I'm there are some people who really took the dedication to summoning on this band.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would not fault them for it.
No, not at all.
With that free to play leader of Salsa at, like, I think it was 50% for stats, combined with the 170 across the board from that SS4 Vegeto, you're still able to run a team that does decently. Of course, it's not as good as it can be. It's missing 120% bonus to stats.
Yeah.
But it's something that you can run through a lot of events just to get a feel for the category and whether or not you enjoy the category itself.
What is up, my dudes? If you like this clip, be sure to check out the full episode down below in the description. Also in the description below, you can find all of our panelists on Twitch, YouTube, and various social media. Be sure to like and subscribe and ring that bell so that you know when the GGP puts up some freshly squeezed content.